Hey, everybody, and welcome to Creating Your Self Love Lifestyle. I'm Marcy Newman, your Heart Shift coach, and I'm thrilled to be here with you again this week. We have a very important conversation ahead of us, and it's one that I think that all of us can relate to. We are talking about complaining. And my question to you are you a professional level complainer? If you are, this conversation is going to really have a huge impact on you because what I want to talk about are the energetic effects of your complaining on your ability to actually build a self love lifestyle. So, as I said, complaining is something that seems to be just a natural part of our everyday expression, doesn't it? Something happens that we're not happy with, and right away we have a complaint. Somebody does something, somebody says something, somebody thinks something, somebody expresses something, somebody cuts you off in traffic, you go to the store to look for something and it's not there. In other words, there are these constant barrages of experiences in our everyday life that would seem to invite a complaint. So, on the surface, you're 100% correct, right? It would seem that it's actually maybe even prudent to complain. Let's get that energy out. Well, here's the issue. The issue is that most of us don't stop with one complaint. Most of us perseverate. We just continue to go in circles around and around and around. And in fact, we may take one small incident and blow it way out of proportion because we don't get the resolve that we're looking for from just sharing the complaint. And that's really what the situation is. Because we haven't resolved it, we just keep pushing against it, damning it. And what are we creating? We're creating an endless cycle. We're creating a dog chasing its tail. We are creating dense energy. Now, what does it have to do with your ability to create a self love lifestyle? Everything. Because your ability to successfully create a self love lifestyle requires that you have access to as much of your energy as possible. And what we know about complaining is it's a waste of time as well as a waste of energy. Because unless you are in direct connection with the ability to resolve that issue, the ego latches onto it and it takes you into a downward spiral. In fact, right now it's sort of rubbing its hands together and saying, oh, I know you're already thinking about all those complaints that you had this morning. And what happens when you start to think about them and you put your focus on them? They are going to expand because even the energy of the ego falls to the laws of the universe. Energy is always seeking out other energy just like itself. And as it attaches to that new energy, it gets greater and greater. And what comes back to you is either more reason to complain, an expanded, out of context, blown out of proportion, drama and theatrical issue that starts to eat away at you. You might have heard the term like eat at your kishkas, right? It just starts to eat away at you. Again, because there's no resolve. So, this energy that you are now giving over to this programming of complaining is one that is actually filled with self sabotage. You cannot get out of that. Not until there's a huge blast of light that sort of distracts you with its shininess, or you make the choice to stop right then and there and say, "You have no power over me." Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if we stop to think, just sort of examine what has happened when we have had an incident that has been the catalyst for this complaining, what we realize is that we have gone into that downward spiral of um, this inner dialogue. How could you have done that? How could you be so stupid? How dare that person? How dare that situation? How this, how that? And what happens is immediately you begin to project this energy out. You need to find the guilty party. You need to bring them to justice. You need to distribute the shame if you are feeling less than, or as I said earlier, you are feeling like you have been disrespected. In truth, the disrespect is actually coming from you towards you, because there is nothing that we want to allow to have power over us that will take us out of alignment with our higher vibrational frequency that's necessary in order to build a self love lifestyle. So we must keep in mind at all times, what is it that we are creating? What do we want to create? This is our day. This is our hour, our moment to really step up to the plate for ourselves and create a life that reflects our loving ourselves. And that can only come from remembering who we are, these divine beings, these creators who can create anything. So, why bother with an incident that is robbing you of that connection, robbing you of that memory, and robbing you, of course, of the opportunity to come back into alignment? So, as we continue to go forwards in our examination of everyday life, we start to see that this power that we have to choose, well, it actually has the potential to make us superheroes for ourselves. These are our superpowers. And so we're going to be talking about them more and more in the weeks ahead. But I want you to know that this, reaction, which is what the complaint is, right, is one that you've been programmed to do. But I want you to know that because you are the creative life force, you can choose right now to stop creating that crazy scenario. And rather than getting sucked into the reaction of a situation, of something that you are experiencing, no matter what it is, if you, in that moment, make a choice to just step back for a second and rather than react, construct a response. What are those responses like? Well, first and foremost, I find that the most powerful response is to have compassion first for ourselves because we almost got sucked in there. Or maybe we did get sucked in there, but we've realized it and pulled ourselves out. Let's just have some compassion for our humanness, can we? And then is it possible that we can extend that compassion to someone else? maybe even to the store that didn't have what you were looking for, maybe to all the many incidences that seemed to just be connected one to another. Your whole day just seemed to be a waste of your time and energy. Can you have compassion that you didn't realize that this was an energy string that was coming through you? You see, in each and every situation, it is we whom we must look at first and just begin in that nanosecond to take advantage of the power that we are and choose, rather than to react, to respond. Respond now with asking yourself what it would look like. What would it look like if I was loving myself in this moment? What would it feel like? What would it sound like? What would I be experiencing instead? Very simple questions, bam, bam, bam. And the moment you start to ask them, I promise you the universe will start right then and there with handing you a response. This is your magic, your superpower. So from here on in, you're on, okay? You are the creator of your self love lifestyle. Let's end this right here and now with this affirmation: I am the powerful creator of all of my experiences. I choose to let go of the programming that would have me complaining and experiencing otherwise. So I'm going to leave that with you. Just keep just reiterate to yourself all the time who you really are. And when, that ego shows its face, just say, I see you. I hear you. Come on in. Come on in and get that love you're actually really looking for. Okay. So much love. And I'll see you again next week, right here, next Thursday. And we'll talk more about creating your self love lifestyle. Thanks for joining me. Please leave your comments below and make sure to subscribe so that you get notifications when new videos are coming in. And let me know how I'm helping you or what else I can do to support you. Thanks.